Still ahead, a kindergartner drew a picture of a gun. So what did the teachers do? Force that child to sign a no-suicide contract. Is that insane or completely insane? Fair and balanced debate coming up.
Debate.
Well, an Alabama school under fire after making a 5-year-old kindergartner sign this contract. It's a promise not to kill herself or others. Why? Her mom says it's because, quote, she drew something that resembled a gun. According to them, she pointed a crayon at another student and said, pow, pow. Did the school go too far? That is a rhetorical question, of course. Here for our parenting panel is president of Excel Alliance and creator of CareerMommy.com, Lily Gil-Valletta, Dr. Jonathan Fader, and parenting and beauty expert Erika Katz. Thanks a lot for joining us this morning. Lily, I'm going to start with you. This is insane, no?
Absolutely. And I think everyone is just so concerned after there's been 74 shootings in schools after Sandy Hook. But this is showing how politics and the school's fear of any kind of liability or legality is overriding the need to protect the minds of the young people they're so responsible for.
And that's it, doctor, isn't it? I mean, what's the effect on a 5-year-old if a parent or a teacher hands him a contract and says, don't kill yourself?
Well, the effect is really the secondary thing. The first thing is that a kid at that age can't even understand what that is. So it doesn't make any sense to do that. Even though, and additionally, suicide contracts, there's no evidence behind them for anybody, actually. We do them because they make us as clinicians feel better. But it really doesn't impact behavior, most people think.
They're kind of hard to enforce. Erika, what would you do if you're a parent and you find out that your child has been forced to sign a no-suicide contract? What's your next move?
Well, I would never let my child sign something like that because, first of all, you want to make sure they don't even know what suicide is.
Yeah.
5-year-old children should not even know that word. And I don't know if when you were in school, but I remember the boys in art class used to draw Battlestar Galactica and go pew, 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 pew.
Yeah.
And I have to tell you, I still know those boys, and they're very functioning members of society.
Of course. I'm sure they're all hedge fund managers, right? I mean, there's, boys like firearms. It doesn't mean they want to behave in a violent way. So I want to run a second topic by you. Really more evidence that things are out of control in some public schools. A Nebraska school has told teachers to avoid any gender-specific language of any kind, including boys and girls or kids or children, and instead refer to kids by some made-up names like purple penguins. Why would a school encourage kids to deny the biological reality of sex, of gender?
This is absolutely absurd. Like, I'm actively involved in a lot of gender activities and gender gap research at Harvard, and we have shown over and over again that there are biological differences. We are different, and the way to foster diversity and equal the playing field is not by making everyone live under the illusion of inclusion. Diversity is exactly the opposite, celebrating the differences, whether it's purple and green or red or whatever it is. So this is going to have the opposite effect on what it means to be inclusive.
Doctor, is there any scientist in the world who believes that there are no gender differences?
No. Basically, we acknowledge gender differences. The idea here is, I actually like this topic, right, because it alerts us to the fact of, like what Lily's saying, Tucker, that we have to pay attention to that there's diversity and respect it. But the way to respect it is not by eliminating talking about it. It's about talking about it more.
Right.
And allowing people to ask people what their preferences are and how they relate, and to really address that and have respect for it, not to say we're not going to talk about it by covering up it with different language.
When parents or teachers tell kids to lie, or when they lie and say things like, gender isn't real, we're all the same, don't kids kind of know that they're being lied to?
Well, essentially, we are boys and girls. You can associate with one or the other, but you're still boys and girls. And I say, hey, you guys, to my kids all the time, and I can't be censoring myself all the time that maybe somebody's offended. It just seems kind of unrealistic.
It's weird when you realize that crazy people are in charge of a lot of schools. I suspected that as a child, but now it's been confirmed.
I think it's a good topic, and the fact is that people, attending to how people think about their gender is really important, but just doing it by this superficial level of saying, you know, that we shouldn't use words is not addressing the real issue, which is that gender is an important issue.
I guess. I'm 45. I've never once thought about my gender, and I hope to make it to death without doing so. But thanks for joining us.
We'll make a contract about it.
Thank you.